This is your faithful Amanda Splatts. Nothing special this morning. Just wanted a little creative writing. I didn't have, usually when I go into one of these creative writing streams, I have a plan or a plot, something to build something around. I'm not 100% sure how today's gonna go, because I didn't have any plans or any ideas for writing. I just wanted to sit down and try to hammer out a couple of hours worth of work. Nothing like the weird dream stream we did last time, where it's just a whole bunch of short stories or anything, or anything too complex, like the one with how I met San Ruby officially and General Bun Bun. Just sometimes I just like to start with the most basic of premises and see where it leads me. I have a general idea, because I got one marshmallow last night. I actually got a marshmallow last night. And I'm not bragging or anything. I honestly didn't think I'd get any. Oh, hey, Zosmas, man. Thanks for stopping by. Take a load off, man. Feel free to nod off anytime. Although I'll warn you, I will be playing BlazBlue Central Fiction in a few hours after the writing stream, so I'm pretty sure that'll wake your ass up. But for now, I'm just gonna do a little creative writing with my beautiful BGM that I stole from San Ruby. I actually liked her BGM better than mine, so I fucking took it. So, sometimes when I just need to chunk something out, just get something on paper, so to speak. Old fucking hag saying, I know. I just start with because some of my shit doesn't even have a plot. And apparently that's okay. That's kind of what slice of life anime is. It just doesn't have a plot. It's just taking a look at the strange place that is the fucking desert. So, gonna go for a couple hours. Probably not gonna go too horribly long. Because like I said, I want to do BlazBlue Central Fiction. I want to get at least 4 hours of BlazBlue in. I will do in the story mode. And I know it's going to be a good, like... Everything I've read said that just straight up basic story mode for BlazBlue is like 11 hours. I know it's going to be a lot longer for me, number one, because BlazBlue was a completely stupid fucking difficult fighting game, and I'm not good at that shit. But I love it, and I got it for like $7 or something. Dirt fucking cheap. So it's gonna take a lot longer than 11 hours. Although I'm told that unlike Chrono Fantasia or whatever it was, the storyline, I believe, is a lot more streamlined. I believe. Like, I won't be doing any of the tangents or anything, unless I find myself in a real role. But it's also going to take a while, because I'm going to have to read the dialogue out loud, because I believe Central Fiction was the only one that was not dubbed in the US. Which, that's really fucking sad. Yeah, Guilty Gear's great. But I would have liked to see him dub it just to finish the story. Oh well. So, I have a marshmallow. I have not opened the marshmallow yet. I got one. So, like I said, I didn't even plan on getting one last night. I put it at like at 11 a.m. I closed them at like 5:30 a.m. today. And I got one. I'm honestly fucking surprised. Might be one of my European viewers, or I did send out the link to a couple of other people. Specific people that I really wanted to hear from. And Choco Minato, who absolutely annihilated both me and Kara in repeated sets in Idol Showdown last night on Kara's channel. Didn't leave a mallow, but did suggest I like wrestling, so write about wrestling. So we're gonna go back to the Desert Mid-South Fairgrounds. Desert. No, I'll bring this up in the story. So I'm gonna go ahead, start out with a little bit of Desert Mid-South, and after that, I will open the marshmallow and just go with whatever the suggestion was in the marshmallow. You gotta set the scene first. I always like to set the scene. And I always like to have a starting line that hooks you. I always like to set the scene first. So we're at Desert Mid-South. The blazing heat was becoming too much to bear as it beamed down on the Desert Mid-South Fairgrounds. And would have melted all the sticks of butter impaled on wooden skewers if they hadn't been lovingly and protectively deep fried first. I made jokes of that Fire Pro. For those of you who may have missed it, it was my biggest stream, Fire Pro Wrestling. It's taking place at the Desert Mid-South Fairgrounds. I thought the Desert Mid-South Coliseum, but I want to be carny as fuck with this show. So it's going to be the fairgrounds, back when a lot of wrestling happened. And I believe they still do a few shows these days. But I hope I don't overload my resources by opening, I want to show you what I'm talking about, those of you who may actually not have experienced this shit. Well, I think it'll be just easier to get a snapshot. Grab a quick snapshot from the snipping tool. I need to show you this for those who aren't initiated. Image. Okay. Browse. Pictures. Screenshots. It throws me because I have a folder that says screenshots, but I also have a folder that says captions, so I keep forgetting which is which. But yeah. Look at that shit. Deep fried butter. It's a real fucking thing, man. Apparently, I'll explain it more in the story. But you take a look, deep fried butter is 100% real, and it is absolute fucking magic. I've never eaten it. I don't hate myself that much. But it's there, and now it's gonna be down here. And we move on. That might be nuts with catfish. Yeah, catfish is actual fucking meat, though. Hey, thank you for stopping by, Sensoka. I'm just doing a simple stream. I've got a mallow. I haven't opened it yet. So I decided I'll open it after I start the story. Just to kind of surprise myself, to challenge myself, see what it's about. So the blazing heat was going too much of the bear as it beamed down the desert mid-south fairgrounds. Would have melted all the sticks of butter impaled on wooden skewers if they hadn't been lovingly and protectively deep fried first. The whole process fascinated and terrified Amanda. She first heard about it. The whole process fascinated and terrified Amanda when she first heard about it. Apparently, you flash freeze the butter before you fry it, which prevents it from melting before it becomes encased in its protective breaded shell. So forethought goes into this. Malice and forethought. There sure isn't. The whole process fascinated and terrified Amanda when she first heard about it. Apparently, you flash freeze the butter before you fry it, which prevents it from melting before it becomes encased in its protective breaded shell. So forethought goes into this. Malice and forethought, surely. As the workmen slaved away, workmen toiled away, disassembling the ring and making sure the wrestlers who formed in preform. Because I know preformed is a word also, like formed beforehand, preformed. It's performed. As the workmen toiled away, disassembling the ring and making sure the wrestlers were formed. Formed to the fascinated crowd. Got their payment, compensation, in the form of those plush animals. You know, never actually supposed to win at those rigged carny games. I fucking hate those. I fucking hate those, man. Where, they're bullshit. From what I understand, a lot of those carnival games are bullshit. They've done whole videos on them. I'll have to look one of them up sometime. But they're bullshit. And I don't fucking like that. Because I was dumb enough to try some once. Like the thing with the throwing the ball at the bottles or trying to do the hoop thing. As the workmen toiled away, disassembling the ring and making sure the wrestlers performed, the fascinated crowd got their payment and compensation in the form of those plush animals. You're never actually supposed to win one of those rigged carny games. A practice. And, dude. Am I using that word correctly? Shoe. I think I am. To refuse to use or participate in, to stand aloof from, to shun or avoid. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. As the workmen toiled away, disassembling the ring and making sure the wrestlers who performed, the fascinated crowd got their payment and compensation in the form of those plush animals. You're never really actually supposed to win those red carny games. Practice Amanda eschewed. Yes. She wasn't in charge here. Your faithful Amanda Splatts folded up her card table and hold her phone. It's time to summon her royal steed in the form of an Uber X. Because I think, isn't Uber X the one where you get, like, it's not just you actually have room to carry shit? Because normal Uber, you're just sitting in a fucking car. Uber X is a little more expensive depending on where you are. And they absolutely fucking obliterate you here in the desert at least. They actually obliterate you for cost. It is about 3 to 4 times more expensive to get an Uber or a Lyft here in the desert than it is most like major metropolitan areas, because there's just no competition. There's like 3 or 4 people doing Uber around here, and when I have to go somewhere immediately, it just fucking destroys my wallet. And I can't even call like a traditional old school taxi because the price is about the same these days. Time to summon a royal steed in the form of an Uber X. And hopefully shake off any indigestion that came from consuming the complimentary fried everything. It was time to summon a royal steed in the form of an Uber X and hopefully shake off any indigestion that came from consuming the complimentary fried everything. Okay, I think the scene is set. Desert Mid-South, named in honor of the legendary IWA Mid-South, had just wrapped up another successful show. Starting nice and early, as soon as the fairgrounds opened, going until it was just hot enough outside to bake your brains boil your brains in your skull, which in December in the desert, I gotta capitalize the desert because the place is called the desert. That's part of the proper place. It's not a desert, it's the desert. which in December in the desert still came around 2 to 3 p.m. Desert Mid-South, named in honor of the legendary IWA Mid-South, had just wrapped up another successful show. Starting nice and early as soon as the fairgrounds opened and going was still hot enough inside to boil your brain inside your skull. Which in December in the desert still came around 2 to 3 p.m. Amanda had the book. No, I gotta remember, I'm not writing for wrestling fans. I used to write for wrestling fans a long time ago. I used to write wrestling related things here and there. But when I did, I used all this Guardian inside language that they knew what it meant. But I think a lot of my audience now, even though Fire Pro was holy shit, Fire Pro was far and away my biggest stream ever. Like, I'm lucky to get 100 views from a normal stream, like a special stream. Fire Pro did like 350 views. It wasn't even close. And it wasn't even the longest stream I did, so I definitely want to do more Fire Pro because it's something I love. It's not like I was forcing myself to do it. This is something I loved. Watching Fire Pro matches, did it for years. And now with Fire Pro World, oh my god. With the over 180,000 community creations, everything has just fucking opened up. It's great, man. Okay. Which in December in the desert still came around 2 to 3 p.m. Amanda had to get back home, prepare for work the next day. And I need a good term for what that fucking fried food is gonna do. May not spend the evening clutching her stomach, fetal position, as you do. Amanda had to get back home, prepare to work the next day, and hopefully not spend the evening clutching her stomach in the fetal position, as you do. A very quick note, I won't bring this up again, but it's for any new viewers I may have this morning. I am a male VA, Babaniku, voicing a female character. I don't mind if you use he, she, or he, him. I don't mind if you use she, her. Either of them technically fits. Just don't be a fucking asshole about it. Amanda get back home, prepare for the work next day, and hopefully not spend the evening clutching her stomach at the fetal position, as you do. She'd been given the pencil, which in wrestling parlance meant that she was in charge of booking today's multi-hour event. Free with admission. Free with admission. Just jacked up admission. They just jacked up admission to compensate. Got something to drink today. Actually got the foresight to get something to drink. Sonic Cherry Limeade. Hear that? I don't know if y'all can hear that. I always feel weird about what my built-in audio filters, filters out and doesn't. I got a Camping Tough water container. It carries 40 ounces and 3 vials of drink mixer for 48 ounces, which is good because I like it strong. So that actually works. She had been given the pencil. I think it probably, since I'm not talking about shitting through a keyhole, now I'm talking about the event itself. She'd been given the pencil with the wrestling parlance meant that she was in charge of booking today's multi-hour event. Free with admission, they just jacked up. Jacked up. We just jacked up the price of admission to compensate. She had been given the pencil, which in wrestling parlance meant she was in charge of booking today's multi-hour event. Through admission, they just jacked up the price of admission to compensate. But there was no weekly television show or monthly pay-per-view deal. Not yet. So it's not like she actually had to write any storylines. This was simply about putting the best show she could today. But there was no weekly television show or monthly pay-per-view deal. Not yet. So it's not like she actually had to write any storylines. This is simply about putting out the best show she could today. And from looking at how barren rides Carney games were, opposition to how many people were piled around ringside. How many people were piled around ringside? Piled up. I guess piled up would sound better. How many people were piled up around ringside? And looking at how barren the rides and Carney games were in opposition to how many people were piled up around ringside. She wielded that pencil well. She'd wielded that pencil well. The Desert Mid-South Fairgrounds already booked for a few more shows. No carnival this time. No carnival this time. The event would have to stand on its own. But the pre-orders, well, the gate but the pre-orders tickets, even considering that card had been announced. Crap, what the fuck is a crad? Had been announced yet or promised. The Desert South Fairgrounds were already booked for a few more shows. No carnival this time. The event would have to stand on its own, but the pre-orders for tickets, if considering that no card had been announced yet, were promising. I have a couple of weird ideas for scenes today. I don't know if we get to them. But fear, doubt, and uncertainty crept into Amanda's mind as she rode shotgun back home in a strange white van driven by a heavy set who's driving the Uber. Reset Boston transplant. Why the fuck not? Just do a tiny little bit of extra flavor. But the fear, doubt, and uncertainty crept into Amanda's mind as she rode shotgun back home in a strange white van driven by a heavy-set Boston transplant. Would it go around in circles? In circles. Would it fly high like a bird up in the sky? I do like using song lyrics in my stories, but I like to kind of bury them, make you think, oh, wasn't that a song? Would it go around? No, that's not supposed to be a quotation mark. That's supposed to be an apostrophe. No, I just said apostrophe. I just said apostrophe twice. I'm fucked up this morning. I don't know if y'all could tell I'm kind of fucked up this morning. I'm not gonna be doing good at Blazblue Central Fiction today. Like, I'm gonna take all 4 hours just to get through, like, the first fucking fight. Because I'm not good with Ragna. And if it's a story mode, I'm pretty sure 90% of the time I'm gonna be fucking Ragna. Might have to lie about Ragna at first, but it's only gonna be 4 hours at the most, because I'm also collabing with Kara today. I still don't know how Kara wants to do that. Because I won't be streaming my end. Basically, I bought some games for Kara to play because I wanted to see her reaction to them. But fear, doubt, and uncertainty crept into Amanda's mind as she rode shotgun back home in a strange white van driven by a heavy-set Boston transplant. Would it go around in circles? Would it fly like a bird up in the sky? Did she just catch a thermal? Another wrestling term, kind of more obscure wrestling term, about catching like an updraft, catching a gust of wind at your heels, pushing you forward further than you normally would have. Did she just catch a thermal? Fear and uncertainty were a part of standard operating procedure. Fear and uncertainty were part of standard operating procedure. The fear and uncertainty were part of standard operating procedure. You would have to factory reset the entire system in order to work out that particular quirk. Because yeah, just a lot of uncertainty and but for now things are good. That now things were fucking great. In fact, but for now things are good. In fact, for now things are fucking great. Needed to revel in that. The wins. Savor the wins. Savor the wins. Fear and uncertainty were part of standard operating procedures. You had to factory reset the entire system in order to work out that particular quirk. But for now, things are good. In fact, for now, things are fucking great. She needed to revel in that, savor the wins. I want to do a little sand ruby lure. And it got a little bit of a fucked up idea. Now, I do have that marshmallow. I've got a marshmallow. I got one last night. I haven't opened it yet, so I don't know what kind of turn the story's going to take. I figure as soon as Amanda gets back to her apartment, I'm going to go ahead and crack open the marshmallow. I've not read it yet. I've not seen it yet. It could just be spam that got through the filter. But yeah. I fucking apologize for what I'm about to write. It's usually when I have a fucked up idea for something to write. It comes out fucking great. The whole dreams writing stream I did last time was a bunch of fucked up ideas that came out actually kind of great. By the way, I hope y'all can't hear the fan. It's cold enough that I had to go ahead and finally turn on the heat a couple weeks ago, and that's gonna wreck my fucking heating bill, and I'm gonna be fucking broke. But I don't know whether it's the tism or what, but I feel better when I got a little wind blowing on my face. Marshmallow spam, imagine that its flavor makes my taste buds recoil. Well, I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. Spam sushi is a thing. Like masame or masubi or whatever you fucking call it. Yeah, that's a big thing. Spam itself kind of makes me recoil. Just not because of the taste or anything. It doesn't have a lot of taste on its own. Just, it's so high in fucking sodium, man. I'm trying to be more careful. Like, I consume almost no sugar. But I'm trying to be careful with sodium, too. And Spam has so much fucking sodium, man. Oh, Lord. You know, they sell Spam by the slice now. I saw it at the Desert Walmart. You can buy Spam by the slice if you just want a little Spam. Just a little Spam. teeny tiny bit of spat. Fuck, it's rumbling. Okay. There were the winds. Immediately sour. However, as that van passed by her cave, a cave sheltering the being known to the world as Sand Ruby, the coyote god known to her followers as Ma'i. Anyone who's interested, by the way, Ma'i, I think it's Ma'i. That's the Navajo word for coyote. So basically, she's a coyote god named Coyote. That is supposed to be your first hint that she's not what she says she is. That's supposed to be your first hint. Her mood immediately soured, however, as that van passed by her cave. The cave sheltering the being known to the world as Sand Ruby, the coyote god known to her followers as Ma'i. The god occasionally borrowed Amanda's form, flesh, and voice, who in the middle of the hottest part of the day died, stunning, laying outside of her cave entrance, casually sunbathing. Casually sunbathing, yeah. Sand Ruby just does not give a fuck. Her mood immediately soured over as the van passed by her cave, the cave sheltering the being known as Sand Ruby, the coyote god, known to her followers as Ma'i. The god who occasionally borrowed Amanda's form, flesh, and voice, who, in the middle of the hottest spot of the day, was laying outside of her cave entrance, casually sunbathing. Nobody said anything about it anymore. Who was going to court a god for indecent exposure? Who was going to report a god for indecent exposure? This is supposed to be another sign that the desert is kind of a fucked up place. The desert is a little fucked up, and that's what makes it fun. I do like it when things are a little bit fucked up, but people are just kind of getting through life, because we're all fucking like that, man. There's just things that are fucked up right there, but we just try to press on. We just try to persevere. Nobody said anything about who was going to pose God for indecent exposure, and Amanda wasn't even worried about mistaken identity as she was when the two first met over a decade ago. And Sand Ruby first copied Amanda's flesh just to test out what it felt like. That was originally why we started wearing the porcelain mask. That was originally why she started wearing the porcelain mask. Because underneath that faceless shell of Amanda's face. Till it started. Now the town had gotten to know you separately enough that through context, if not the color of their eyes, you could tell who was who. Nobody said anything about it anymore. Who was going to report a god for indecent exposure? And Amanda wasn't even worried about mistaken identity, as she was when the two first met over a decade ago in Center. We first copied Amanda's flesh just to test out what it felt like. Just a little cliff notes of their relationship. The last writing stream I did when Amanda met San Ruby, that goes far deeper into it actually describes the night that I became Amanda Splatts. I would definitely say it's probably my most proud writing stream to date. Not the Dreams one. It was the one before that. When Amanda met San Ruby. I really worked out all the kinks in the world there. Amanda would never be as bold as to just never to be that bold. And it wasn't like the pale goddess, quote unquote, god trying to get some sun. And it wasn't like the goddess was trying to get some of that pale flesh. Why would she be saying what? Well, I know why she'd be saying it. It's a reminder. She's doing it to piss off Amanda. Guys, we're trying to get some of that pale flesh. It was just a reminder. It was just a reminder. To the desert in general and to Amanda in specifics that she was there. Imposing her will without having to part seas or heal lepers. Now we're kind of getting our different religious castes mixed up, but you get the gist. You get the gist. She's just not giving a fuck. She's just letting us know that there is a God walking among them. White van picked up speed as it dropped as the Bostonian transplant dropped Amanda and her card table back off at the Motel California. The white van picked up speed as the Bostonian transplant dropped Amanda off and her card table back off at the Motel California. Didn't need to look back and see that you didn't need to look back to see that to know that he'd double back. That gave jokes on you, she thought. You're gonna be driving around in the wilderness, a good term for wilderness, but in the desert. I think wilderness would still work. In the wilderness. Few hours. Nobody finds that cave unless he wants it to be found. Nobody finds that cave unless he wants it to be found. Why Amanda knew she was making that statement. Making a statement. Her choice of leisure activities. So go ahead and I notice I haven't saved. Wow. Save as. Okay. I'm almost thinking of bringing in General Bun Bun for a minute. Y'all of those who don't know, General Bun Bun is another character in the desert. She had a stream on, what was it? Daylight Savings Time. Did a little gag stream called The Stream That Does Not Exist. I barely promoted it. It got like 2 viewers because it was on Daylight Savings Time. It was at 2 a.m. It was a little after 2 a.m. and then went to a little bit before 3 a.m. And then once you hit 3 a.m., the clock rolled back to 2 a.m. So the stream did not exist. I'm gonna unprivate it. I'm gonna unprivate it at some point. Like, it's not privated, it's unlisted. But I'm gonna go ahead and relist it at some point. That's what I liked. That's what I did with the Sand Ruby videos, the original Sand Ruby vids, where it's just her talking. I privated it. Not private. I made it. Fuck. I made it unlisted. So you can check it out if you want to, as long as you have the knowledge. But eventually I did list them. And hilariously enough, one of those Sand Ruby videos where it's just her typing to no one was one of the most popular videos on my channel as far as views. Although I've realized recently that views aren't as important as they should be. Watch time is a lot more important. Because I've had streams where I've only had like 6 or 7 people stop by. But those, like, 2 or 3 of those people stayed the entire time. And I got like 3 times as many watch hours as the length of the stream itself. And I think I'd actually honestly prefer that. I mean, getting new eyes onto my shit, that's always cool. That's always appreciated. Any newcomers. But I also prefer, like, anyone who likes what I'm picking up, or likes picking up what I am putting down, long enough to stay for the whole thing. That's also cool, too. Other phrases for desert might be infertile plains, sun-kissed wilds, beach of the forgotten ocean. Oh, that's cool. I'll have to keep those in mind. Thank you, Sansoka. Thank you. To try some playthrough activities. I'm surprised. Like, I'm willing to go 3 or 4 hours today. I don't know what's in this marshmallow. I don't know what it is or what's going to be at. Like, I'll go ahead as soon as Amanda gets into the. As soon as Amanda gets into her apartment, I'll go ahead and open the marshmallow and see what happens. Because, like I said, I didn't expect to get anything. I put it up at like 11 o'clock last night, and I closed it at like 5 a.m. So I didn't expect anyone would put it up, but someone did. And we'll see who. I get the feeling I know who it is, though. Because somebody did favorite the post about the marshmallow. So there's at least one person who knew about it. But yeah, it also did fulfill Choco. Actual direct request from Choco saying, hey, you like wrestling, go ahead and talk about that. And I did. Go ahead and set up what Desert Mid-South was. Basically working my Fire Pro streams, which I want to do a lot more of into my lore. So Amanda's the booker for Fire Pro, or for Desert Mid-South, and she gets paid in fried food, which just fucks with her stomach. And so Amanda knew she was making stable choice of pleasure activities. Frail. Bone. Hosted. Pale. Booker of Desert Mid-South. Started hauling the card table back to her apartment, back to her room at the motel, California, dragging it where she thought she could, not wanting to rape the tiles of the motel pool. Tiles of the motel pool's deck. She hefted the not all together too heavy table. She heard a familiar booming voice. Y'all need help with that? Mandy? Y'all need help with that, Mandy? Regard. Bun. I forgot how to spell House of Pepper. Because it's an actual dish, like made with rabbit. That H-A... It looks like there's a couple ways to spell There's no U in Hasselpfeffer. I gotta remember, there's no U in Hasselpfeffer. One bun. Awesome. General Beauregard, bun, Hasselpfeffer. Bellowed out. Hauling herself out of the pool. Hauling herself out of the pool. It's probably damn near boiling at this point in the midday sun. Making wabbit stew. Amanda thought. Ugly. You don't need help with that, Amanda? Beauregard, bun, Hasselpfeffer bellowed out, hauling herself out of the pool, which is probably damn near boiling at this point in the midday sun. Making wabbit stew, Amanda thought idly. I'm good, General. Amanda wheezed out, trying to fish out her keys. Before the conversation could continue further. Here came the retired, because she was a 5-star general in the Desert Army over 12 years ago, which was more of like a night watch / militia. And she was a 5-star general over 12 years ago when Amanda first met Sandra B. That goes back to the previous lore. But here came the retired 5-star general of the Red Desert Army, clad in a conservative one-piece bathing suit and toweling off her rolling golden locks and her pink bunny ears. Bun, a proud lagomorphic American, I'm good, General. Amanda wheezed out, trying to fish out her keys before the conversation could continue further. But here came the retired 5-star general of the Red Desert Army, clad in a conservative one-piece bathing suit and toweling off her rolling golden locks and pink bunny ears. Let me see if I can find a picture of her, because y'all know what Sandra B looks like. I don't think most of you saw the Bun stream. I am going to go ahead and relist it at some point. Okay, image. Bun. I was thinking of introducing another character also, when I kind of hinted on it one stream. Now I got to sort through my AI. I've got literally hundreds upon hundreds. I've got so many AI pictures that when I go ahead and choose open folder, it takes like almost a minute to go ahead and set it to go ahead and reorganize it as show by date as opposed to show by name, file name. And I do love going by date because then I get to see all the pictures. I get to see like the little history that I've been going through. I'm thinking of showing you. I would like to show you the. Someday I'll go ahead and show you because I know Kara shows her your folder all the fucking time. Here. That's General Bun Beauregard. Beauregard Bun Hassenpfeffer. It was one of the weirdest fucking streams I ever done. Over here, Bun. You can hang out down here for a minute. Oh god, that's good. Just to give you an idea for the 5 or 6 people who've never seen her or ever heard of her before. Bun, a proud lagomorphic American with a cheerful presence in a region that was rather low on them. How in the heck? Well, how in... Well, how on God's green... It's not God's green earth, but in the desert it'll be God's... blue earth, because it's still like 90% water. Well, how on God's blue earth do you store that thing in your apartment anyways? In your room anyways? I've seen these dang rooms are smaller than a decimal. Gotta rent a double just to stretch my legs. Well, how on God's blue earth you stole that thing in your room anyways? These dang rooms are smaller than a decimal. Gotta run a double just to stretch my legs. And I know about that big damn bed you got. And I know about that big dang bed you got. She doesn't curse. Amanda curses. That Bun doesn't curse. That'll be it. And I know about that big dang bed you got. Amanda shuddered. How do you know about bed? Yeah, paranoia started creeping in. Another reset. Install. Hell! I like writing dialogue, I really do. I like writing dialogue because, and that's why it's hard for someone as solitary as Amanda for me to write her a little bit, because she's not around a lot of other people. So when I actually get a brief, that's why I'd like to introducing multiple characters. Like I have a 4th character I'm thinking about introducing if I have time. I might just do a test stream with them first, like I did with Bun. But it's so much easier to say so much and reveal so much in a conversation as it is with just like a monologue. You've talked about it on your streams before. Using it as a disc and all that. You actually streams. Now you see, I don't need to say who it is, because in traditional writing, when you start that next line with the quotation mark, that's an indication that the other person is speaking. Now, if it were a conversation with 3 or more people, you would know, or I would have to go ahead and somehow otherwise reveal who was talking. And for the way that it's done incorrectly, and I've seen done incorrectly before, I would really recommend you go way back in my history in the old VODs and check out my read through of Portugueso, the horror visual novel for Super Nintendo that was recently translated, and it's the it was the inspiration for Silent Hill and a lot of other survival horror. It was a good story, but I never picked it up again. There are like 9 different endings. You gotta play through like a minimum of 17 or 18 different times. And I just don't feel like picking it up again. I really don't. Not if I know I'm gonna have to go through like 17, 18 times to get the real fucking ending. It was an interesting experiment, but now I've got other stuff I can stream. But yeah, the way that is, like, since it's only Amanda and Bun Bun talking, you know that when Bun Bun stops, it's Amanda. Amanda shuddered. How do you know about my bed? She asked. The poor knife started creeping in another preset insult. You talked about it on your streams before, using it as a desk and all that. You actually watch my streams? Watch? No. Listen? Yeah. Something to keep on. Something to keep the old ears occupied while I... What does Bun Bun do in his spare time? Watch? No, listen, yeah. Something to keep the old ears occupied while I... What would a retired 5-star General Bunny Girl do in her free time? Well, sell decommissioned Red Desert Army assets on eBay. Do people still use eBay anymore? Do people still fucking use eBay anymore? Would there be a more Etsy maybe? No, Etsy's like for more home. Deal on some got them dealing with old MREs if you're interested. What you know? Listen, yeah. Something to keep the old ears occupied while I sell decommissioned Red Desert Army assets on eBay. Is decommissioned even the right word? Let's look it up. Define decommissioned. To take out of service or render unusable. Yeah, that works. That works. Because she's retired from the Red Desert Army. So that works. eBay's still a thing, and yeah, Etsy's more. Yeah, she's just selling old desert military shit. Because you figured after 12 years, a lot of the stuff that even a small little military, I guess it'd be more of a militia technically, would be kind of out of date. Surplus here might be a better phrase. I ain't sure though. That's good. Thank you, since I will do that. Also decommissioned. And we know it's Red Desert Army, so she'd just probably call it RDA surplus gear. Thank you, Sensaga. That does sound a lot better. Yeah, what you know? Listen, yeah, it's something to keep the old ears occupied while still decommissioned RDA surplus gear on eBay. Got a deal on some old MREs if you're interested. Thought of choking down meals for to eat after all the fried filth she'd sustained herself on at the fairgrounds was enough to make Amanda wanted to retch. Yeah, because you still got that fried shit swimming around on her stomach. The thought of choking down meals for her to eat after all the fried filth she'd sustained herself on at the fairgrounds was enough to make Amanda want to retch. Luckily, in the decade or so since Bun Bun first found Amanda, patched up by the Ruby as she was, Bun Bun had learned how to read Amanda better than most. The thought of choking down meals ready to eat after all the fried filth she'd just stand herself at the fairgrounds was enough to make Amanda want to retch. Luckily, in the decade or so since Bun Bun first found Amanda, patched up by San Ruby as she was, Bun Bun had learned how to read Amanda better than most. That polite. See y'all. And I see y'all. Bun Bun grabbed her bottle of Miller Lite and slid back into the pool. Bun Bun grabbed her. I don't drink beer. Like, I drink whiskey, if anything. I don't drink beer. But from what I understand, Miller Lite is kind of a bullshit beer. I was about to say, like, Pabst. No, I like Pabst Blue Ribbon better. Bottle of... Because isn't like... That used to be the big hipster beer. Pabst Blue Ribbon. And slid back into the pool as Amanda fumbled the door open, slid the card table into her apartment, the room, locked the door, and proceeded to collapse onto the bed. The aforementioned massive bed in exhaustion And I think at this point I'll go ahead and read the marshmallow and see where the story goes from here. Like I said, I got one marshmallow and one direct suggestion. And the direct suggestion was right about the wrestling. And so before we go ahead and take a little twist on the story, let's see. Let's go ahead and read. I do like to read. I'm sorry if this gets repetitive for anyone staying for the whole stream, but this is what I do. I read the story back, the whole thing back at points, just to make sure it sounds good to me. Because remember during the dream stream I did that, and I caught a pretty big mistake I'd made. The blazing heat was becoming too much to bear as it beamed down on the desert Mid-South Fairgrounds and melted all the sticks of butter impaled on wooden skewers, if they hadn't been lovingly protectively deep-fried first. The whole process fascinated and terrified Amanda when she first heard about it. Apparently, you flash freeze the butter before you fry it, which prevents it from melting before it becomes encased as protected pertinent shell. So forethought goes into this. Malice and forethought, assuredly. As the workmen toiled away, disassembling the ring and making sure the rest who performed to the fascinated crowd got their payment and compensation in the form of those plush animals you never actually supposed to win one of those rigged carny games. A practice Amanda eschewed, but she wasn't in charge here. Your faithful Amanda Splatts folded up her card table and pulled out her phone. It was time to summon a royal steed in the form of an Uber Rex and hopefully shake off any indigestion that came from consuming the complimentary fried everything. Desert Mid-South, named in honor of the legendary IWA Mid-South, had just wrapped up another successful show, starting nice and early as soon as the fairgrounds opened, and going till it was just hot enough outside to boil your brain in your skull. Which, in December, in the desert, still came hot enough till it came around 2 to 3 p.m. It does get that fucking hot around here, man. Like, it's gotten up to like 85 in the afternoon here in December. It's fucked up. I need to move. I honestly legitimately need to move, but I don't have the money. Amanda had to get back home, prepare for work the next day, and hopefully not spend the evening clutching her stomach in the fetal position, as you do. She'd been given the pencil, which in wrestling parlance meant she was in charge of booking today's multi-hour-long event. Free with admission. They just jacked up the price of admission to compensate. But there was no weekly television show or monthly pay-per-view deal. Not yet. So it's not like she actually had to write any story. It's simply about putting on the best show she could today. And looking at how barren the rides and carny games were in opposition to how many people were piled up around ringside, she'd wielded that pencil well. Desert Mid-South Fairgrounds were already booked for a few more shows. No carnival this time. The event would have to stand on its own. But pre-orders for tickets, even considering that no card had been announced yet, were promising. But fear, doubt, and uncertainty crept into Amanda's mind as she rode shotgun back home in a strange white van driven by a heavyset Boston transplant. Would it go around in circles? Would it fly high like a bird up in the sky? Did she just catch a thermal? The fear and uncertainty were part of the standard operating procedure. She'd had to factory reset the entire system in order to work out that particular quirk. But for now, things were good. In fact, now things were fucking great. She needed to revel in that. Savor the winds. Her mood immediately soured, however, as the van passed by her cave. The cave sheltering the being known to the world as Sand Ruby, the coyote god known to her followers as Ma-E. The god who occasionally borrowed Amanda's form, flesh, and voice, who, in the middle of the hottest part of the day, was laying outside of her cave entrance, casually sunbathing nude. Nobody said anything about it anymore. Who was going to report a god for indecent exposure? And notice I keep putting God in quotation marks. Amanda wasn't even worried about mistaken identity, as she was when the two first met over a decade ago when San Ruby first copied Amanda's flesh just to test out what it felt like. That was originally why she started wearing the porcelain mask, because underneath that faceless shell was Amanda's own face. Now the town had gotten to know the two separately enough that through context, not the color of their eyes, you could tell who was who. Amanda would never be that bold, and it wasn't like the goddess was trying to get some sun on that pale flesh. She was just reminded of the desert in general, and to Amanda in specific, that she was there, imposing a will with Evan to part seas or heal lepers. The white van picked up speed as the Bostonian transplant dropped Amanda and her card table back off at the Motel California. She didn't need to look back to know that he'd double back to that cave. Joke's on you, she thought. You're going to be driving around in the wilderness for a few hours. Nobody finds that cave unless she wants it to be found. Hence why Amanda knew she was making a statement with her choice of leisure activities. The frail, bony, exhausted pale booker of Desert Mid-South started hauling the card table back to her room at the Motel California, dragging it where she thought she could, not wanting to scrape the tiles of the motel's pool deck. As she hefted the not altogether too heavy table, she heard a familiar, booming voice. Y'all need help with that, Amanda? Beauregard Bun Bun Hosserpfeffer bellowed out, hauling herself out of the pool, which was probably damn near boiling at this point in the midday sun, making wabbit stew, Amanda thought idly. I'm good, General, Amanda wheezed out, trying to fish out her keys before the conversation could continue further. But here came the retired five-star general of the Red Desert Army, clad in a conservative one-piece bathing suit and toweling off for rolling golden locks and pink bunny ears. Bun Bun, a proud lagomorphic American, with a cheerful presence in the region that was rather low on them. Well, on God's blue earth, you stole that thing in your room anyways. These dang rooms are smaller than a decimal. Gotta run a double just to stretch my legs, and I know about that big damn bed you got. Amanda shuddered. How do you know about my bed? She asked. The paranoia started creeping in another preset install. Hell, you talked about it on your streams before. Using it as a desk and all that. You actually watch my streams? Watch? No. Listen, yeah. Something to keep the old ears occupied while still decommissioned RDA surplus gear on eBay. Yeah, that sounds so much better. That sounds so much better. Thank you, Sensoka. Something to keep the old ears occupied while I still decommission RDA surplus gear on eBay. Got a deal on old MREs if you're interested. The thought of choking down meals ready to eat after the fried filth she'd sustained herself on the fairgrounds was enough to make Amanda want to retch. Luckily, in the decade or so since Bun Bun first found Amanda, patched up San Ruby as she was, Bun Bun had learned how to read Amanda better than most. With a polite, see y'all when I see y'all, Bun Bun grabbed her bottle of Pabst Blue Ribbon and slid back into the pool as Amanda fumbled the door open, slid the card table in her room, kicked the door, locked the door, proceeded to collapse on the aforementioned massive bed in exhaustion. Now, let's open up that marshmallow. I got one marshmallow. Let's see what someone wanted me to write. I think I know who it is. Because one person actually liked that it would be weird if they put a favorite on that marshmallow tweet and then didn't actually send me something. So, what do they say? Jesus fucking Christ. Real. Fucking real. Write a story about you being sent into Holocure to play all the gambling games at the casino, only to be met with a very smug Pekora staring down at you as she forces you to play house rules blackjack. Fuck you, Kara. Like, I respect you and everything, but fuck you. Hold on, let me check. Hold on. Hold on. Just taking the stream quickly. That's a good idea, Matt. Got to make sure the flow feels right. Yeah, thanks, sir. I'm going through my rules to see if this violates any of my rules. Don't feel free to talk about other people here if it's pertinent. There's a feel free to talk about other people here, other VTubers in my stream, if it's pertinent. Pekora's not a member of FlaVR, so technically this violates my stream rules. So, fuck you, Kara. I mean, I respect you and everything you've done for me and for the Amanda Splatts project, but fuck you. Hold on. Expect a little bit of lag. I'm opening up Discord. I usually have Discord closed when I stream, but I wanted to go ahead. I could have just done it on my phone, though. Like, I have my phone going. And I could probably just go to Discord, but yeah, hold on. I just read the mellow you sent to me. Fuck you. I mean, thank you, but fuck you. Is that too harsh? Is that too harsh for me to tell my senpai to go fuck himself? I just read the mail you sent me. Fuck you. I mean, thank you, but fuck you. Okay. Looking forward to our lab today. Yeah, we'll get a kick out of that shit. I knew it was fucking Kara. I knew it was fucking Kara. Hold on. Fuck it. I knew it was fucking Kara because Kara's the only one who gave a like to the tweet with the marshmallow in it. But no, that violates my stream rules. So I'm gonna debunk you next time I show up. And fuck you. Like, thank you, but fuck you. I did have kind of an idea of what I wanted to bring up if I didn't get any mallows. Fuck, now I'm gonna have to open Discord again. Because I emailed myself a couple pictures that I generated. Sometimes at work, I'll generate shit on my phone and then text it to myself for the stream. Like I set up a little private one-person server for myself for my random shit. Like mostly gens I have for ideas while I'm at work. Oh, there it is. There is some horrible shit. Gonna go and download the best of it. This is all part of the creative process, by the way. There's one more character I wanted to introduce as part of the basic lore. And I had some really good gens of her. Maybe I'll download all of them, but I'm probably only going to show one or two on stream just to give you an idea. Okay, close that shit again. Because I don't want to take up too many. Like, I know having writing. Have an open office without a game or anything going, that's gonna take up a ton of resources. But like just in case YouTube decides or Windows decides it wants to fucking update or something. So fuck Kara. We're going to go ahead and write what I was going to bring up if I didn't get any mallows, which is I wanted to go a little bit into the cult around Stanley and introduce one of her priestesses. Okay. Time she'd gained consciousness. It was dark. It was sundown. Maybe not dark. Maybe she wasn't out for like 7 or 8 hours. Maybe just 2 or 3. But it's got to get dark, so that's what bad shit happens. Mulling over how to describe it. Should I show you the picture first? I think I'll describe her and the situation first before I show you the concept art. By the time she'd regained consciousness, it was sundown. Amanda checked timers on her phone to make sure she wasn't late for working from home as she was still ruthlessly punctual. She was still ruthlessly punctual. Working from home as she was still ruthlessly punctual. She'd set the card table back up in a small corner where it fit. Replaced her work computer and monitors with a good 5 times more than what streaming rig was. Yeah, that kind of pissed me off when I started working from home. The computer and the monitors, everything they sent me, they're so high fucking quality, but I can't touch them unless I'm working. Like, I'm sure there's a bunch of spyware and monitoring shit on them. Computer monitors and set about gathering the discarded soda cans and empty ramen wrappers, and she'd set the card table back up in a small corner of it, replaced her work, and set about. Set about gathering discarded soda cans and empty ramen wrappers. Took your wrappers. One plastic baggie later, Amanda was hauling her refuge dumpster outside. Yeah, we don't have like the thing here where you can like just put your trash in a chute or someone will pick it up. You have to haul it out to the dumpster yourself, and it's fucking annoying. It's fucking annoying. By the time she regained consciousness, it was sundown. Amanda frantically checked the timers on her phone to make sure she wasn't late for work. Working from home as she was still ruthlessly punctual. She'd set the card table back up in a small corner where it fit. Replaced her work computer and monitors with a good 5 times more than Shusha's streaming rig was worth, and set about gathering the discarded soda cans and empty ramen wrappers. One plastic baggie later, Amanda was hauling her refuse to the dumpster outside. It was late, but not too late. Not that late. Yet, strangely, he was there. Amanda were thin and bony. This woman was a rail thin ghoul with razor sharp teeth and blazing red eyes to match. Wearing what was was probably at one point address her scraggly black hair strewn about. Probably hadn't been combed in decades. Oh, what's the I like to use textbook definitions of things, so let's get the textbook definition of a ghoul. Demon-like being, monstrous humanoid, often associated with the graveyard of the consumption of human flesh. In the Legend of Tales, there appear ghoul is fucking corpse eater. I don't know if I want to go that far. I don't know if I want to go far enough to say that she actually eats corpses, but she definitely looks like a ghoul. I got a warning. Heads up, we've detected audio in a stream belonging to belonging to someone else. It's my generic BGM. I got it from Pixabay. And it is free use. I think that might be what happened. That got one of my Power Wash Simulator streams bonked. Is that it misread my BGM. So I have my phone going as a casual observer in the chat, and I'll be able to see if it gets blocked again. And I'm sure y'all will let me know. Decades. Newspaper clippings show that she was beautiful once, but now strung out. Kindling dry wisp of inhumanity. I don't think it's wisp WH yet. I think it's WISP wisp. Is it WHISP? Wisp. WHISP. Wisp C wisp. So it is another, it's an alternate spelling. Seriously, I think I like it better with an H. Amanda with this thin and bony, this one was rail thin ghoul, razor sharp teeth and blazing red eyes to match. Wearing what was probably at one point a dress. Her scraggly back hair strewn about, probably hadn't been combed in decades. And newspaper clippings showed she was beautiful once. But now the strung out, kindling dry wisp of inhumanity shambled, turned her attention to the horrified Amanda. Slowly but surely dragging one leg behind her. One thick, pulsating red marked bloody leg. One thick, pulsating, red marked bloody leg. Vastly contrasting the rest of her emaciated body. All this art is AI Bing. I use bing.com/create Bing AI to do my AI artwork. I feel like I've got a little bit of permission to do it since, number one, I'm not making a fucking cent off of any of this. And number two, it's flavor, so the whole AI history is kind of baked in. But yeah, anyone wants to take a look at the screen, this is my interpretation of one of the priestesses of Maki. Thought it was nice and fucking creepy. Wanted something really nice and fucking creepy. Get another one out here. You notice the one red bloody leg. Half of the artwork was really fucking good. Really fucking good. But did not get her leg right. It just ignored the leg completely. This one came out fucking great, but it doesn't have the red leg. I'll stick with this one. Butt button up a little bit. With me a little bit, I guess, apparently. Amanda could run from this thing. Amanda has run from this thing. Amanda could run from this thing. Hell, Amanda has run from this thing. That's horrifying. Terror-inducing. And she was red leg. Red leg. Ad. That's her fucking name. A bit of a mobility problem. Terror-inducing as she was, right leg had a bit of a mobility problem. It's the slow, gambling orders that you had to keep an eye out for. Just the slow, shambling horrors, especially the ones as doggedly arduous as well as the high priestess of those on the edge of town. It should be in quotation marks. Those on the edge of town. Cult of raving lunatics who worshipped the it's only one page. I thought it was 2 pages. Amanda could run for this thing. Hell, Amanda has run for this thing. As terror-inducing as she was, Redleg had a bit of a mobility problem. But it's the slow, shambling horrors that you had to keep an eye out for. Especially the ones as doggedly arduous as the high priestess of those on the edge of town. A cult of raving lunatics who worship the thing that had convinced them she was a coyote god. And I think at this point the do is off the lily as far as Sand Ruby goes, and it's obvious she's not really a quote-unquote god of Native American culture. Navajo. Yeah, she's something Lovecraftian. Don't worry about that. That was just a reminder to take my allergy pill. I already took it this morning. I'm good. Yeah. Like, no one's gonna question that she's a god, but yeah, Sand Ruby's not a god. She's some Lovecraftian horror. Because that's kind of a theme in Lovecraft. These things are not gods. They're just creatures from another place. And even they feared ones. Like, the gods fear the old gods. Things like that. How they see this horror, this terrifying horror. And then at the very end, so you find the thing that the horror fears. It's a never-ending cycle. And I kind of like that. I also kind of like the fact that it's like a lot of the times it's not actually specifically spelled out what these horrors are. So it leaves a lot to the imagination. But yeah, it should be obvious by now that Sand Ruby's not a god. Amanda could run for this thing. Hell, Amanda has run for this thing. As terror-inducing as she was, Redleg had a bit of a mobility problem. But it's the slow, shambling horrors that you had to keep an eye out for, especially the ones as doggedly arduous as the high priestess of those on the edge of town. Cult of raving lunatics who worship the thing that had convinced them she was the coyote god. And trash bag hand just stared in fear as Redleg's expression, drooling and slathering as it was. cycled from hope and reverence at seeing her face to disappointment and borderline anger as she realized the face wasn't Sandruby's, but rather face Sandruby patterned her own after. Amanda, trash bag in hand, just stared in fear at Redleg's expression, drooling and slathering as it was, cycled as Redleg's expression cycled from hope and reverence at seeing her face to disappointment and borderline anger as she realized her face was a Sandruby's, rather the face Sandruby patterned her own after. Jim, like horror. Both Lovecraft and Darkest Dungeon. Darkest Dungeon is taking a real toll on my channel. It's like becoming one of the big things on my channel. I don't know. I'm honestly really worried that I might have to start all over again. Cause I'm up to like week 40 and I've only got like level 3s. I'm really fucking up. And Crimson Court is just fucking up the whole fucking thing. Crimson Court is just ruined. So I don't know if I really want to continue. Alright. I just get weirded about the audio and the stream thing. Like I said, I know it's Pixabay for use thing. And her namesake behind her started gibbering something. Gibbering Prophet, another Darkest Dungeon reference. So, teeth gnashing, eyes bloodshot as that leg of hers. And it wasn't until she suddenly felt the weight of the trash bag being ripped from her hand did Amanda finally regain her senses. Let me help you with that, Amanda. Bun bellowed out, kind of intentionally here. Casually, all trash bag and yeeted it over the dumpster with all the accuracy, and someone thrown more than one but hate. Let me help you with that, Amanda. Bun bellowed out, and the touch of the air. She casually held the trash bag and yeeted it into the open dumpster with all the accuracy of someone who'd thrown out more than one grenade in her lifetime. Would hate for you to damage those educated fingers of yours for your next writing stream, you know? Red legs. Attention was barely. Red legs. Bloody gaze. Broken until Bun saddled up next to Amanda, casually reaching behind her hand, place at least small of her own back. Preparation. Redleg's bloody gaze was unbroken until Bun settled up next to Amanda, casually reaching behind her, her hand placed at the small of her own back in preparation. Y'all sure ain't ready to fall from the edge of town, don't you think? Yo bitch goddess isn't here. Get a move on. Redleg tore her apart. Seemed to know what it meant when a tired general who worked with and had access to surplus military gear reached into the small of her back. Reached the small of her back. God wasn't here, so she didn't need to be here either. Slowly whirling around on that pulsating dead leg of hers, leg shambled back off into the darkness, a heavily breathing Amanda and a relieved Bun Bun. Redleg, for her part, seemed to know what it meant when a retired general who worked with and had access to surplus military gear reached for the small of her back. God wasn't here, and so she didn't need to be here either. Slowly twirling around on that pulsating dead leg of hers, Redleg shambled back off into the darkness, leaving a heavily breathing Amanda and a relieved Bun Bun. Stop autocorrecting. It's supposed to be getting, not getting. They're getting bolder, Bun Bun openly mused. Alright, see them in town. They're getting bolder, Bun Bun openly mused. I see them in town a lot more often. You better start carrying around that Desert Eagle I taught you how to use when you first showed up here. I was gonna be around to sleep up the vomits. Because that was like in Desert Chronicle, which I really want to do, but no one seems interested in continuing, so as much as I fucking hate it, Desert Chronicle looks like it's dead. Like I've begged people to be interested, but no one seems to care about lore anymore. So Desert Chronicle is kind of dead. But it was established that Amanda does carry around a Desert Eagle because she's from the desert and she listens to the eagles. So I thought that being nice little twist, it's Bun Bun who gave her the Desert Eagle when she first came into the desert. You hear? Blindly nodded as Bun Bun roughly patted his shoulder and bounced back to her apartment, to her motel room to sort through MREs. I've never had an MRE. I'd be interested in trying one out sometime, just for the novelty of it. But I've never had an MRE before. That'd be kind of cool. Just to try it out. Do I have enough time to bring San Ruby herself into the story? They ain't great, but not the yeah. It's mainly like for someone who hasn't ever been in the military like me. It'd basically be for the novelty. Cause I've actually tried camping stuff. Like they had a thing. I like to go to the camping aisle at the Desert Walmart. They have like these freeze dried meals where you put in water, boiling water, or some of them have a little packet that automatically boils them up when any water touches it, like some kind of weird chemical thing. And it cooks the food in the packet. It's actually not bad. Pretty high in sodium, but it's not bad. Amanda, still dazed, staggered back to her room and once again found safety, collapsing in pale heat. Bed. Amanda just blindly nodded as Bun roughly patted her on the shoulder and bounced back out to a motel room to sort through another stack of MREs. Amanda, still dazed, staggered back to her room and once again felt safe from collapsing on a pale heap on her bed. I still got a little bit of time. I wanted to stop at 10 at the like somewhere between 9 and 10, because I'm gonna be doing 2 more streams today. I'm gonna be doing Blaz Blue Central Fiction, making a dent in the story mode, and then I'm gonna be riding shotgun for a stream with Kara. That one's not gonna be on my channel. Was damned near midnight by the time Amanda backed up. Sleep reached for her phone. It was damn near midnight by the time Amanda woke back up and instinctively reached for her phone. Checking the time. She had a few hours of precious sleep before having to get ready for work. And then promptly dashing. Dashing it. Then promptly dashing it by opening Discord and Twitter. I refuse to fucking call it out. Fuck that. It's Twitter. And I'm wondering, like, is Twitter really helping? Like, I'm getting very few people actually reading the tweets. Would it be better to do the blue sky? I don't know. I remember in the past, everyone was threatening to leave Twitter, but then nobody fucking did. And now everyone's starting to leave for the blue sky. I don't know how much the Twitter has actually helped. But that's what I do sometimes. I'm wake up in the middle of the night. I know I got work in a few hours. I fucking hop on Discord and Twitter because I'm fucking addicted to this shit now. But San Ruby probably wouldn't be... San Ruby, like knowing Amanda in real life, would probably be the type of person who would like actually text her. Or no, she'd just fucking show up. Sandra would just fucking show up. Sandra was just gonna fucking show up. Sound, however, clattering from what was left of her kitchen, from what she could technically, this room hovel called her kitchen sent her reeling. Was Redleg laying in wait? Had she broken in? Remembering Bun's words. Remembering Bun's words, Amanda, over by her desk, her bedside drawer, fumbling around for her desert eagle, only to find it aimed directly at her face. Remembering Bun's words, Amanda reached over by her bedside drawer, fumbling around for a dozen, only find aimed directly at her face. Held aloft by white and missed by androgynous silver haired woman with crisp white suit and a mask and a porcelain mask. Amanda reached over by her bedside drawer, fumbling around for her desert eagle, only to find it aimed directly at her face, held aloft by an androgynous silver-haired woman with a crisp white business suit and a porcelain mask, adorned as she always was with ruby jewelry. With the ruby jewelry. Venerably, tending to let Amanda sweat for a moment. Herself surprised when Amanda's expression wasn't of fear or anger or shock, but of acceptance. Rising enough that Sand Ruby simply slid the Desert Eagle back to its drawer. And locked it away safely. Attaching the key to Amanda's key ring wallet. I got this really nice fucking wallet. It's got a little key ring built in it, like a chain on it. And I got all my keys on the chain, on the wallet, and it's real fucking nice. It's nice because I know if I lose both the keys and the wallet, that it means that something fucking horrible has happened. But keeping them both together in the same place has been really useful. Stan Ruby continued to let Amanda sweat for a moment. Was herself surprised when Amanda's expression wasn't of fear, anger, or shock, but of acceptance. Surprising enough, that Stan Ruby simply slid the Desert Eagle back into its drawer, took the key, and locked it away safely, reattaching the key to Amanda's key ring wallet. One day at Mid-South, Sandra bemused. Amanda said nothing. One day in Mid-South, Sandra bemused. Amanda said nothing. There was a silence for the longest time. You're out of You're out of honeydew boba. Sandra Ruby idly threw out there, making her leave. God went as far as getting her gloved hand on the door. For a shell-shocked Amanda spoke up. Why were you sunbathing? Amanda asked. Not really curious, not really caring, but feeling like she had to say something. What, the tits that's nice, you wouldn't show them off once in a while? You're copying my flesh. Technically, those are my tits. behind that porcelain mask. Fair enough. Long day at Mid-South? Thunder bemused. Amanda said nothing. There was a silence for the longest time. Yeah, honeydew boba. Thunder badly threw out of here, making her leave. The god went as far as getting her gloved hand on the door before shell-shocked Amanda spoke up. Why were you sunbathing nude out there earlier today? Amanda asked, not really curious, not really caring, but feeling like she had to say something. What, with tits this nice, you wouldn't show them off once in a while? You're copying my flesh. Technically, those are my tits. Sandra stood there for a few seconds, her expression readable behind that porcelain mask. Fair enough. She moved before taking her leave. Sure. Pull out her streaming rig. Despair and frustration. Plumbing the depth of her Menhera. Set. Gorilla. Right. Another night in the desert. I wanted to throw in some reference to that one fucking bullshit marshmallow, but nah. Like, when I get to a natural stopping point like this, showing just how dysfunctional Amanda and San Ruby's quote-unquote relationship really is, I always get the impulse to keep going. But I feel like this is kind of a natural stopping point for this chapter. And go ahead and finish this off by reading it out this time. The blazing heat was becoming too much to bear as it beamed down on the desert Mid-South Fairgrounds and would have melted all the sticks of butter impaled on wooden skewers if they hadn't been loweringly and protectingly deep-fried first. The whole process fascinated and terrified Amanda when she first heard about it. Apparently, you flash freeze the butter before you fry it, which prevents it from melting before it becomes encased in the protective breaded shell. So forethought goes into this. Malice and forethought, assuredly. As the workmen toiled away, disassembling the ring and making sure the wrestlers who performed the fascinating crowd got their payment and compensation in the form of those plush animals you're never actually supposed to win one of those rigged carny games, a practice Amanda eschewed, but she wasn't in charge here. Your faithful Amanda Splatts folded up her card table and pulled her phone out. It was time to summon a royal steed in the form of an Uber X and hopefully shake off any indigestion that came from consuming the complimentary fried everything. Desert Mid-South, named in honor of the legendary IWA Mid-South, had just wrapped up another successful show. Starting nice and early as the fairgrounds opened and going till it was hot enough outside to blow your brain in your skull. Which, in December in the desert, still came around 2 to 3 p.m. Amanda had to get back home, prepare for work the next day, and hopefully not spend the evening clutching her stomach in the fetal position, as you do. She had been given the pencil, which in wrestling parlance meant that she was in charge of booking today's multi-hour event. Free with admission, they just jacked up the press admission to compensate. There was no weekly television show or monthly pay-per-view deal. Not yet. So it's not like she actually had to write any storylines. It's simply about putting out the best show she could today. And looking at how barren the rides and carny games were in opposition to many people piled up around ringside. She'd wielded that pencil well. The Desert Mid-South Fairgrounds were already booked for a few more shows. No carnival this time, the event would have to stand on its own. But pre-orders for tickets, considering that no cards had been announced yet, were promising. The fear, doubt, and uncertainty crept into Amanda's mind as she rode shotgun back home in the strange white van driven by heavyset Boston transplant. Would it go around in circles? Would it fly high like a bird up in the sky? Did she just catch a thorn? The fear and uncertainty were part of standard operating procedure. She'd have to factory reset the entire system in order to work out that particular quirk. But for now, things were good. In fact, for now, things were fucking great. She needed a rebel in that. Savor the wins. Her mood immediately soured, however, as she passed by her cave. The cave sheltering the being known as San Ruby, the coyote god known to her followers as Mai, the god who occasionally borrowed Amanda's form, flesh, and voice, who, in the middle of the hottest part of the day, was laying outside of her cave entrance, casually sunbathing nude. Nobody said anything about it anymore. Who was going to report a god for indecent exposure? And Amanda wasn't even worried about mistaken identity, as she was when the first two met over a decade ago, and San Ruby first copied Amanda's flesh just to test out what it felt like. That was originally why she started wearing the porcelain mask, because underneath that faceless shell was Amanda's own face. Now the town had gotten to know the two separately enough, through context, if not the color of their eyes, to tell who was who. Amanda would never be that bold, and it wasn't like the goddess was trying to get some sun on that pale flesh. It was just a reminder to the desert in general, and to Amanda in specific, that she was there, imposing her will without having to part seas or heal lepers. The white van picked up speed as the Bostonian transplant dropped Amanda and her card table back out of Motel California. She didn't need to look back to know that he'd doubled back to that cave. Joke's on you, she thought. You're gonna be driving around the wilderness for a few hours. Nobody finds that cave unless she wants it to be found. Hence why Amanda knew she was making a statement with her choice of leisure activities. The frail, bony, exhausted pale booger of Desert Mid-South started hauling the card table back to her rooms at the Motel California, dragging it where she thought she could, not wanting to scrape the tiles of the motel's pool deck. As she after her not altogether too heavy table, she heard a familiar booming voice. Y'all need help with that, Amanda? Beauregard Bun Hassenpfeffer bellowed out, hauling herself out of the pool, which was probably damn near boiling at this point in the midday sun. Making wabbit stew, Amanda thought idly. I'm good, General, Amanda wheezed out, trying to fish out her keys before the conversation continued further. But here came the retired five-star general of the Red Desert Army, clad in a conservative one-piece bathing suit and toweling out for rolling golden locks under pink bunny ears. Bun, a proud lagomorphic American, was a cheerful presence in a region that was rather low on them. Why on God's blue earth do you stole that thing in your room anyway? These dang rooms are smaller than a decimal. Gotta run a double just for trundling my legs, and I know about that big dang bed you got. Amanda shuddered. How do you know about my bed? She asked. The paranoia started creeping in another preset install. Hey, you talked about it on your streams before. Use it as a desk and all that. You actually watch my streams? Watch? No. Listen, yes. Something to keep the old ears occupied while I sell decommissioned RDA surplus gear on eBay. Got a deal on some more MREs if you're interested. The thought of choking down meals ready to eat after the fried filth she'd sustained herself on at the fairgrounds was enough to make Amanda want to retch. Luckily, in the decade or so since Bun first found Amanda, patched up by San Ruby as she was, Bun had learned how to read Amanda better than most. With a polite, see y'all when I see y'all, Bun grabbed her bottle of Pabst Blue Ribbon and slid back into the pool as Amanda fumbled the door open, slid the card table into her room, locked the door, and proceeded to collapse on the aforementioned massive bed in exhaustion. This is a fucking huge bed. now that I look at it. By the time she regained consciousness, it was sundown. Amanda frantically checked the timers on her phone to make sure she wasn't late for work. Working from home as she was still ruthlessly punctual. She set the card table bag up in the small corner where it fit, replaced her work computer and monitors, worth a good 5 times more than what her streaming rig was worth, and set about gathering the discarded soda cans and empty ramen wrappers. One plastic baggie later, Amanda was hauling her refuse to the dumpster outside. It was late, but not that one, and yet strangely she was there. If Amanda were thin and bony, this one was a real thin ghoul with razor-sharp teeth and blazing red eyes to match. Wearing what was probably a one-pointed dress, scraggly black hair strewn about, probably hadn't been combed in decades. Newspaper clippings show that she was beautiful once. Now the strung-out, kindling dry wisp of inhumanity turned her attention toward a horrified Amanda, slowly but surely dragging one leg behind her. One thick, pulsating, red-marked, bloody leg, vastly contrasting the rest of her emaciated body. Amanda could run from this thing. Hell, Amanda has run from this thing. Terror-inducing as she was, Red Leg had a bit of a mobility problem. But it's the slow, shambling horrors that she had to keep an eye out for. Especially the ones as doggedly arduous as the high priestess of those on the edge of town, a cult of raving lunatics who worshipped the thing that had convinced them she was a coyote god. Amanda, trash bag in hand, just stared in fear at Red Leg's expression, drooling and slathering as it was, cycled from hope and reverence at seeing her face, to disappointment and borderline anger. She realized her face wasn't Sand Ruby's, but rather the face Sand Ruby patterned her around after. The shambling horror, hauling her affliction and her namesake behind her, started gibbering something as she dragged herself, teeth gnashing, eyes bloodshot, that leg of hers towards Amanda. It wasn't until she suddenly felt the weight of the trash bag being ripped from her hand that Amanda finally regained her senses. "Let me help you with that, Amanda," Bun bellowed out, cutting the tension in the air as she casually held the trash bag and yeeted it into the open dumps with all the accuracy of someone who'd thrown more than one grenade in her lifetime. "Would hate for you to damage those educated fingers of yours for your next riding stream, you know." Redleg's bloody gaze was unbroken, but until Bun saddled up next to Amanda, casually reaching behind her hand placed the small of her own back in preparation. "Y'all straying pretty far from the edge of town, don't you think? Your bitch goddess isn't here. Get a move. Get a move. Get a move. Get. Redleg, for her part, seemed to know what it meant when a retired general who worked with and had access to surplus military gear reached for the small of her back. God wasn't here, and so she didn't need to be here either. Slowly twirling around that pulsating dead leg of hers, Redleg shambled back off into the darkness, leaving a heavily breathing Amanda and a relieved Bun. "They're getting bolder," Bun openly mused. "I see them in town a lot more often. You better start carrying around that Desert Eagle I taught you how to use when you first showed up here. I always gonna buy around to sweep up the vomit, yeah?" Amanda just suddenly lauded as Bun roughly patted her on the shoulder and bounced back off to her own motel room to sort through another stack of MREs. Amanda, still dazed, staggered back off to her own motel. Staggered back up and once found safety and collapsing in a pale heap on her bed. It was damn near midnight by the time Amanda woke back up and instinctively reached for her phone. Checking the time, making sure she had a few hours of precious sleep before having to get ready for work, and then promptly dashing it by opening Discord and Twitter. The sound, however, clattering from what she technically in this one-room hovel called her kitchen, sent her reeling. Was Redleg lying in wait? Had she broken in? Remembering Bun's word, Amanda reached over by her bedside drawer, fumbling around for Desert Eagle, only to find it be aimed directly at her face, held aloft by an androgynous, silver-haired woman with crisp white business suit and a porcelain mask, adorned as she always was with ruby jewelry. Sand Ruby, intending to let Amanda sweat for a moment, was herself surprised when Amanda's expression wasn't of fear or anger or shock, but of acceptance. Surprising enough that Sand Ruby simply slid the Desert Eagle back into its drawer, took the key, locked it away safely, reattaching the key to Amanda's keeping wallet. Landed Mid-South? Sandra bemused. Amanda said nothing. There was just silence for the longest time. You're out of honeydew boba. Sandra badly threw out there, making her leave. But God was as far as getting her gloved hand on the door before shill-shocked Amanda spoke up. Why were you sunbathing nude out there earlier today? Amanda asked, not real curious, not really caring, but feeling like she had to say something. But with just now, she wouldn't show them off once in a while? You're copying my flesh. Technically, those are my tits. Sandra stood there for a few seconds, her expression unreadable behind that porcelain mask. Fair enough. She mused before taking her leave, leaving Amanda to pull out her streaming rig in her infant despair and frustration, plumbing the depths of her Menhera. Perfect time and mindset to the gorilla, right? Just another night in the desert. You know, for a story where I didn't have much of an idea, didn't have much of a plan at all, I think that actually came out very good. Some good character work for Bun Bun and Red Lung, the minor characters in the story. And I think that's a good enough group to start with. Amanda, Sandra, Bun Bun, who Amanda can play off of, and Red Leg, who Sandra can play off of. I think that's a good place to start too. Because I'm doing BlazBlue Central Fiction at 11. I was thinking of moving it up to 10, but like I could just use this time to go ahead and double check everything as well. So I like where this. Thank you, Sensoka, man. You're a real fucking homie, man. I really do appreciate it. And please stay safe, man. You're kind of scaring the shit out of me with some of the updates you've been giving with like the lasers and everything. I really hope you're gonna be okay, man. I really fucking do. I'm always happy to see your updates around the Discord, and you are a real homie stopping by. So gonna go ahead and wrap it here. I got 2 more streams today. Zos, thank you for stopping by, saying hello. Sensoka, thank you for being a real fucking homie. I'll start BlazBlue Central Fiction at 11, and I'll go ahead and be honest right now. I'm thinking of dropping Darkest Dungeon. I'm starting to get really angry with it because I'm up to like week 40. I don't have a single hero at level 4 or above. And Crimson Court is infecting the entire game to the point where like literally half the enemies I run into are Crimson Court enemies, and everyone's getting the thirst. It's making the game unfun. Like even when it was soul crushing and make angry. At least it was still fun. It's not fun now, and I hate to think that I would have to drop this one series. It's my longest running series, but it's longest running because there's so much of a fucking slog. So I know this is a sin. Sounds like a sin. But I'm thinking of grinding off stream. Would anyone mind if I grinded Darkest Dungeon off stream? And then decide if I want to either start again without Crimson Court, or if I just want to end it. And if I do end it, I've got a couple options, and one of them is BlazBlue Central Fiction. The story mode in BlazBlue Central Fiction is supposed to be 11 hours or so, not counting the side stuff. I believe it's supposed to be more streamlined. I'm not sure about the choices or anything I have to make, but the guide I read online, very, very thin, bare bones thing, said there's like 37 chapters. The machines are back in one piece. Did just get over very bad respiratory infection, catch up in a few days worth of work. Well, I'm happy to hear you made it, man. I'm hoping it wasn't the COVID. And I hope you are doing better. That sounds reasonable. Sometimes it's better to grind out screen. Yeah. I felt bad because, like, if you don't see it, it didn't happen. But there's so much fucking grinding in Darkest Dungeon. Especially if you're as far behind, quote unquote, as I am. Like, the Shrieker just popped up. Brigand Wolf is a few weeks away. And I don't have anyone at level 4. Much less level 6 champion level you need. So I am really thinking of just dropping it. But it's one of my best performing series. But I don't know if it's one of my best performing series because it's the game itself, or because of the Sunday time slot, or because I'm going longer. So I'm gonna be doing my vacation, quote unquote, my hiatus starts after my Ode to Castlevania stream on Saturday night, Splatterday night. And I'll be gone until January 4th when I do karaoke. And when I come back, I'll decide whether I want to continue doing Darkest Dungeon on January 5th, or whether I want to finish BlazBlue Central Fiction. And then at 4 p.m. today, I won't be streaming my end. I'll just be hanging out with Kara for a few hours, yapping while Kara plays some games I purchased. So I got a lot today. Got a lot to do. I'm just happy that I did. With all the shit that was going on over the last couple days, with work and everything, I was honestly thinking about canceling the stream this morning and just do an extra long BlazBlue stream. But I'm glad that I did this stream. I'm glad I did it. Because that's one of the biggest tenets of this channel. It's like I'm not a streamer. I'm a writer and I'm a singer who occasionally streams. And writing is one of the big things that kept me going through a lot. It's kind of keeping me going now. So, see you in a couple hours for BlazBlue Central Fiction. See you later today for Kara. Thank you for hanging out in the desert with me and San Ruby and Bun Bun and Red Leg. I'm your faithful Amanda Splatts. Fuck the Hololive Casino. And this is the Amanda Splatts Podcast. Good night. Good morning. Good whatever. I keep saying good night. It's a fucking habit. Good time. Fuck it.